It's 1921. It's a new era of convenience and revolutionary technology for American consumers. From coast to coast, companies cash in with appliances like refrigerators, toasters, and dishwashers. One man looking to get in on the action is a 30-year-old businessman named David Sarnoff.
David Sarnoff was a visionary. He was tenacious. He was bold. He was an innovator, and he was a self-starter.
Sarnoff works for a company called the Radio Corporation of America, better known today as RCA. He thinks RCA can profit by rebranding a piece of military equipment for in-home use, the radio.
Up to this point, it had only been used for two-way communication.
The radio had been used during World War I to relay information to planes, ships, and bases. But with the conflict long over, there aren't too many applications for the technology.
The radio had been a wartime tool, but after the war, nobody knew what to do with it.
Sarnoff has an inkling that this device could be repurposed to offer regular Americans news, music, and other entertainment.
Sarnoff thinks radio can be like libraries, a place for people to come and get timely information.
He presents his idea to RCA executives, but his bosses aren't on board.
When RCA heard Sarnoff's idea, they were skeptical.
The company won't back the proposal because there's nothing for the public to listen to. No content exists. But that doesn't stop the bold businessman.
Sarnoff was determined. He was certain radio had a future. He needed to find a way to get the public interested in buying radios.
So how will Sarnoff tune America into radio? David Sarnoff is trying to develop an audience for the radio when, in the spring of 1921, he hears about an upcoming boxing match between Jack Dempsey and George Carpentier. Set to take place just outside of New York City, the bout has the whole country buzzing.
Jack Dempsey was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he was defending his title against challenger George Carpentier. It was billed as the fight of the century.
When tickets for the match go on sale, all 90,000 sell out, and this gives Sarnoff a brilliant idea.
Sarnoff believed the fight of the century was a match made in heaven. The newspapers were writing about it every day. The public wanted to hear about it.
Sarnoff realizes that there are countless people who don't want to miss out on the action. So he comes up with a plan to broadcast the fight over the radio. He'll offer people the chance to hear the match at listening locations along the East Coast. If it works, he just might be able to prove radio's potential to his skeptical bosses at RCA.
Sarnoff knew this was his big chance, and he wasn't going to go down without a fight.
In the days before the match, Sarnoff sets up a broadcast transmitter inside the boxing venue. Then, he distributes radios to bar and theater owners all over the East Coast, and they help publicize the broadcast. Lastly, Sarnoff hires an announcer to narrate the event for the listening audience. On July 2nd, 1921, the fight between Dempsey and Carpentier begins. Sarnoff listens as the presenter gives a thrilling play-by-play of the entire fight. But he can only wonder how many people are actually tuned in.
There was no way to measure audiences like there is today.
But in the days after the fight, something remarkable happens.
Letters from listeners pour into RCA demanding more sporting events be carried.
It's estimated that 300,000 people listened to Sarnoff's broadcast. It's just the news Sarnoff has been waiting for. His stunt proves to RCA and the American public that radio is the wave of the future.
This was a game changer for the radio industry. Sales took off. Everyone wanted radio in their living room. Sarnoff must have felt elated.
The company begins manufacturing radios for home use and launches a radio network to fill the airtime. David Sarnoff goes on to become president of RCA and pioneers another revolutionary technology: television.
Sarnoff's name is part of broadcasting history. He's included in the list of one of the greatest 20th century American businessmen.
Today, this early model RCA radio remains in the collection of the InfoAge Science History Museum and Learning Center in Wall, New Jersey. It's a lasting reminder of how one man got America riding the wave of radio.